What up and welcome to the Golden Era Games 3 and Games 4 Conference Semifinals. Can the Warriors rally back from a 2-0 deficit? Can the Bulls hold on? What's going on in Vegas and Phoenix? We're finding out right now. Let's kick things off with Game 3. Golden State trying to stay alive, down 2-0. Burying a triple is Jeff Davidson and the Rockets on top. 5-point game, early second quarter. Darnell Gist finding Joku Soluwade to the rack. Here's Malik Roll and the bench unit powering Houston on top early by 11. Trying to push it. Here's more Jeff Davidson from beyond the arc. 14-point lead. Rockets threatening to run away. Swing it. Darnell Gist, the screen from Herringody. Gist getting in on the action. Rockets on top. 9-point game. Here comes Deontay Dixon to the rack, trying to spring a comeback. Early third quarter. 11-point lead. Kick out. Caden Dickerson rattles home the triple. Warriors down by 8. That does not last long because Darnell Gist getting to the paint unstoppable. Double-digit lead still. Third quarter, early on. Ace Jefferson, man down. You got to get out there. Russell Kingston didn't learn nothing from Game 2 when the buzzer beater was hit in his face. 12-point game. Here comes Ray Peterson finding Gist. And the Rockets are just overpowering. Third quarter, 14-point game. Still no answer. D.D. McDice this time for the triple. And the lead has ballooned to 17. Trying to mount the comeback. 14 minutes to do it. Triple from Dickerson to start things off. 14-point game. Here comes Herringody. D.D. McDice, though, says, let's pause that comeback bid, and pushes it back to 16. Sasha Kasparov in the paint, the 35-year-old former Spur, former Defensive Player of the Year, going to work. This time on D.D. McDice, and the lead down to 12 with 9 and change to go. Javon Roll to the rack, foul, and the free throws, and it is a 3-point play. The block by Kingston on the other end. 9 and change, 9-point game. Here comes Damian Pack. Tough finish, 7-point game. Golden State mounting the comeback down by 6. Can they hold them off? Malik Roll gets the triple, and it's pushed back up to 8. Next time down, answering is another triple, this time from Jared Malhior, and the lead is back to 9. Warriors needing some type of a rally. Triple from Javon Roll, and it's a 6-point game with 6 minutes to go. Golden State not out of this, but poor defense. Lynn Garner just leaving the man wide open, and Houston, as they do so much in this game, answered the bell with big triples. The last one to go there. Great 3-point game. Rockets win up 3-0. Let's head to the Eastern Conference. Brooklyn and Boston. Series tied 1 game apiece. Brooklyn on top by 6. Jalen Justice says, give me a little bit of that action. Cuts it to 4 with under 3 minutes to go. Inside they go. Rashawn Matthews has had a phenomenal series. He gets another one. 31 apiece in games 1 and 2. Another dominant performance in game 3 as the Nets are on top. Savion White answering there. Pushes the lead to 8. Jalen Justice trying to find a little action, does so inside on Brighton Reed, and it's a 6-point game with 90 seconds to go. Here comes Reed, driving on Justice, tough bucket, won't fall. Pushing in transition, come the Boston Celtics, step back, triple, Jalen Justice could have cut it, does not. That seems to be enough in this one. Then it just starts becoming a 3-point shooting contest that the Celtics, with not enough time, not enough buckets to go. Foul there. Fouls. Sends Brighton Reed, to the free throw line. 9-point game. Powerful slam from Jalen Justice. 7-point game. Door cracked open here on the miss. 7-point ball game. Jalen Justice, 1 possession after the big triple. Rattles home a 3, and it's a 6-point game. Still there with under 10. A circus shot from Justice falls. But, of course, it's going to be too little too late. 126-120. And the Brooklyn Nets on top 2 games to 1. Let's head back to the Western Conference for Phoenix and Las Vegas in the desert. Pick it up with 1:45 to go. Jacoby Cleaves, you need a bigger man than Corey Flynn to defend him. Easy bucket draws the Venom timeout. Next time down, the screen going under is Cunningham. Isaac Knox makes them pay, and it's a 1-point ball game. Then comes the defense. Cleaves to the rack. Late help from Tariq Wheeler, enough to dissuade that shot. Late shot clock, Isaac Knox can't get another triple to go when we stay locked in at 99-98. This one seems like a bit of a heave, a bit of a heat check from Jacoby Cleaves. Won't fall, stays 1 point. Corey Flynn wants the foul, doesn't get it on that three-point shot. Doesn't get it to go. Jacoby Cleaves breaks the cold streak, powering home the triple, and it's a 4-point ball game. Time running out, deep three from Knox, not gonna fall. And the Venom falling down 2-1. Dominant performance by Jacoby Cleaves. And then our only other game to check in on, that would be the Charlotte Hornets taking down Chicago 114-105. Robert Mack, 21 points in 19 minutes. His best game of this series, but he fouls out in the second half. They have to go to Hightower, who leads the way with 25. Around, you get a look at some of the box scores. Rashawn Matthews, third straight 30-point game in this one. Savion White, a phenomenal 30 points as the Nets go up 2-1. We just saw Cleaves dominate just enough and score just enough late. He ends with 36. And then full-scale assault from the Houston Rockets, 121-107 on top, 3-0. Let's get to Game 4. Will Golden State survive? Will they be able to avoid the sweep? They're going to need a little bit of help. Damian Pack trying to give it to him early on. 3-point edge early. Still a 3-point game. Russell Kingston, who did not have a great Game 3, gets that one to go over top of Malik Roll. Still a 2-point Warrior advantage here midway through the second quarter. Jalen Justice from the Chase Center logo gets it to fall, pushes it to 5. Back down to 3, does not matter. Beautiful finish by Deontay Dixon, quickly up before the help from D.D. McDyess. Lead up to 7, Javon Roll's going to push that to 10 with the triple. Here comes McDyess, though, trying to get back into this step back triple, not a triple, just a deep 2 over top of Jonte Taylor. Then a little floater here in the third quarter, and the lead is 5 for Golden State. Same score, next possession, Deontay Dixon, tough finish past Ray Peterson, and the lead's back up to 7. After a single free throw, made it 8. Cole Herringody can't get that to go, but the kick out, Jeff Davidson, remember him from a dominant Game 3, he gets that triple to go. Rockets trying to find some momentum. Trail in this one by 7. They go to the big man inside, who's going to kick it out for Malheur, burying the triple and the lead down to 4. Sasha Kasparov, who got sprung that rally for Golden State in Game 3, gets that one to go, pushes it here early fourth quarter. First possession of the fourth quarter, but a pull-up Jimmy, and the Rockets are within 3. Next time down, they have not been getting a lot of offense from Damian Pack. Corner 3, they leave him wide open, finally makes him pay. But that man cannot be left open. Jeff Davidson, easy triple, and the Rockets are within 3. However, the turnover inside in transition for Russell Kingston doesn't get that to go, cleans up his own mess. It's a 5-point affair. Still a 5-point affair. D.D. McDyess, who's been great in these playoffs ever since a slow start, gets that one to fall. 6-point game. 6 minutes to go. Needing some help from his friends. Javon Roll finds Lynn Garner. And we've got ourselves a 9-point game. Inside they go. We talked Damian Pack early. We'll talk Damian Pack late. Two-handed slam pushes the lead to 9. And then it's Deontay Dixon. The twirl and reverse dunk. And the Rockets looking at a big deficit. A late finish would not be. Russell Kingston snatches that one out of the air. And the Warriors avoid the sweep with a 104-97 win. Unfortunately, no other games carried that type of drama, if you even want to call it that. The Suns put up 142 on the Venom. That's the most points that the Venom have allowed all playoffs, and the most points since the Suns in March put 130-something on this great Las Vegas team. So the Suns now lead 3-1. Boston responds with a 129-96 win, and don't let the score fool you. 129-126. Chicago gets it done, but a lot of late buckets. Another bad night from Robert Mack. 12 points, 3 of 13 shooting. All right, there we are. Golden State trailing the Houston Rockets 3-1. Let's start there. Game 3. Turnovers and just poor defensive rotations really sank the Golden State Warriors in a 14-point loss, but they never really had much control in that loss to Houston in Game 3. Game 4, we saw a much different version of Golden State. The concern for the Warriors is it going to be too little too late? You're trailing 3-0. No team has ever come back from down 3-0 in the NBA playoffs, and Golden State is staring at that type of historic need and on the backs of a historic comeback a year ago in the NBA Finals. What's the takeaways? Well, Golden State completely abandoned Dele Bagley in Game 4. He started in Games 2 and 3. He got 0 minutes in Game 4. Clearly, they need his defense, but his lack of offense that he provided in Games 2 and 3, not as important. Golden State still allowed the Rockets to shoot 38% from deep in Game 4. They themselves just shot 36%, but they controlled the game. They got to the free throw line 22 times. That was 10 more than what Houston got. They switched aggressively on the defensive side of the ball, which forced really bad nights from guys who have been hurting them. D.D. McDice, 2 of 9 from 3. Ray Peterson was 3 of 11, including 3 of 8 from 3. Game 3, for example, he had 16. Cole Herringody, 2 of 12. He had 9 points on 4 of 8 in Game 3, of course, that big Game 1. The most surprising one was Darnell Gist, 6 points, the fewest points that he has scored all season long. It's the second time that the Golden State Warriors have held him to 10 or fewer points in any matchup. He had 9 in, I think it was February, in that matchup. Give credit to Russell Kingston. We talked about it's a really tough job going from Abiz Ojale to Darnell Gist, 2 guys that are going to be top 3 vote getters for MVP. He was awesome. Not only did he hold Gist to the fewest points of the season on 3 of 11 shooting, but he was 15 for 13. He had 5 blocks, 7 for 8 field goal. They got him rolling in the pick and roll. I think Golden State, when they get Russell Kingston engaged in the pick and roll, they are a much better basketball team. Deontay Dixon is an aggressive downhill scorer. He is a peak freight train, LeBron James type of guy. He is unstoppable downhill. Javon Roll is the finesse guy when he has the ball, getting into the paint, can score against bigger guys. He can pull up, he can float, he can midi over top. Russell Kingston is your traditional 1990s beat him up, pick and roll, get this guy rolling downhill. They need him to continue to do that. He did that really well in Game 4. This team is just better when he is that type of version of himself. When they look for him, they don't always look for him as much as they need to be. Let's go to Suns and the Venom. This feels like the dam for Las Vegas. The Hoover Dam is breaking outside of Las Vegas. 142 points allowed. That's the most that they've given up all season, Las Vegas has. And the most since March 5th, when the Phoenix Suns scored 132. So Phoenix knows how to get to the paint. Cleves was fantastic. 0 points in the first quarter of Game 3, then 16 in the second, facilitated down the stretch in this one. Game-sealing triple with 20.9 left. That feels like it could be the shot that takes the wind out of the Venom sails. Game 4, that was Game 3. Game 4, Cleves was again great. 13 in the fourth quarter, 4 assists in both the second and the third. Las Vegas, very interestingly, has dominated the first quarter. They are leading in the first quarter 130-89, but they have not been able to hang on. They couldn't do so in Game 1, and they couldn't do so in Games 3 and 4. If they can find ways to get this production going elsewhere, that will be helpful. They have scored 30 or more points in all 4 first quarters of the series. They trail 3-1 because they have just 2 30-point quarters the rest of the series, all other games combined. So what this team looks like down the stretch, they aren't making adjustments, it seems like, in this series. They get out of the gates in the first. Phoenix figures out what they're doing. They slow them down. That's why the Suns are up 3-1, 1 win away from a 4th conference finals in the last 5 years. Eastern Conference, let's go. Bulls, Hornets. Obviously, the Bulls' depth matters. Okay, Game 4, 8 scores with 10 or more of points. They haven't shot well, though. These are the shooting lines through the first 4 games. 45 and 32, 47 and 30, 40-34, that was a loss, and then 54-34. What they're doing is getting a good job of 2-point shooting, not so much 3-point shooting. They lead 3-1, though, because Robert Mack continues to just be nothing. Game 3, their one win. He had fouled out in 19 minutes despite getting 21 points. He had 12 points in Game 4 on 6 of 17 shooting. So I don't know what is going on here with this group, but they just are not, with Robert Mack in that ankle, but he's clearly not healthy. And when he's not healthy, that means that they don't have to be as concerned for him, because the Hornets are just getting blitzed because their stars are not being productive. In Game 4, the reserves, when it was Robert Mack on the floor, they did not get it done. Robert Mack in Game 4 was -4. Jonathan Shays was -18. Sterling Weems was -16. Warren Izett was -10. Those are the guys that are playing with Robert Mack, your star that should keep you afloat. Your other 4 starters, Shane Ruffin was +4, Jonathan Malheur was +9, Malik Hightower +11, and Kelvin Rhodes +12. If your other 4 starters are getting it done and Robert Mack on the floor is not, that's not a good sign. And that's the exact situation that the Charlotte Hornets are finding themselves in, because it's 3-1. Now, the Bulls, 0-3 in last year's playoffs when they had a 3-1 lead. They didn't win Game 6 against Miami when they led 3-2. We will see if Chicago is the team that can close things out. Was there some type of revelation? I don't know. They need to close out Game 5, get the confidence that they're capable of doing that and not leaving the door open and allowing these series to progress longer than they should. Let's wrap it up with Celtics and Nets. Celtics, 17 free throws in the first quarter alone of Game 4. Held the Nets to 6 of 21 shooting. So great defense, and they got to line a ton. Pretty clear cases here that the team that shoots well from deep is going to be the one that wins. Okay, in the Nets' 2 wins, they shot 40 and then 51%, 44% from deep in Game 1, 50% from the floor, 30% from deep in Game 3. In the Celtics' 2 wins, 44 and 42% from deep in Games 2 and Games 4. In the Nets' 2 losses, they've shot 24 and 34% from 3. In the Celtics' losses, 31 and 36. So the team that's shooting well from deep in this series has won it as we sit there at 2-2. I'm hopeful we finally get a competitive game in what's been a competitive series in terms of the number of wins here. It's the only matchup that's 2-2. Everything else seems like we could be headed to 5 or 6 game wrap-ups. We're going to get 5 and 6 game wrap-ups coming up next year around the Golden Area. Appreciate you tuning in.